Okay, guys, I hope the screen is visible to all. Let's start the class now. Good evening to all of you. I welcome each and every one of you to another class of SSB Crack Exam. आप सभी लोगों का स्वागत है. FCAT 1 2023 का class हमने शुरू कर दिया है and we are going to do English now. And the topic for today is gonna be comprehension. Good evening to everyone. So basically what we are going to do is first of all we'll do a quick कॉन्सेप्चुअल पार्ट. ठीक है, थोड़ा सा हम लोग कॉन्सेप्ट्स को टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स को समझने की कोशिश करेंगे. देन वी विल क्विकली मूव ऑन टू द एमसीक्यूज, बेसिकली द क्वेश्चंस. ठीक है, so without further ado guys, let's have a quick look at the timetable for today. So today is 13th of February. So all of you can see guys, at 9 we had Divyanshu sir's class of daily defense updates. Okay, so if we have to talk about FCAT per se, so we can see guys at 4 you guys had maths algebra class 5, right? Followed by that you guys are having English comprehension class 1, and after this you guys will have Zahir sir ka class of static GK. Okay, complete revision, right? So this is the plan for today. And now let's move on to the topic itself, which is gonna be comprehension. Okay, guys, so when we basically talk about the previous year analysis, all of you can see that students have been persistently getting 5 questions since 2020. Okay, so उसके पहले का बात करेंगे तो you guys were getting around 3 to 4 questions, but now it has become pretty stable, like five questions have been coming, right? So when I talk about topic importance, these the questions that come in FCAT are actually pretty easy. Okay, they like the level is usually basic to medium. Actually, it's written basic. We can say maybe medium, but basic level ही आप लोगों का आता है. Difficult questions बिल्कुल भी नहीं होते. The questions are actually very easy, to be very honest, and they are asked from the passages which needs to be read first. Obviously, you need to read the passage. So, and quick questions need basic to intermediate reading and comprehensive skills so that you can analyze the passage and you can deduce the suitable information that you need to basically answer from. Okay, so that's what is required from your end. Now, let's quickly try to understand a bit about the concept when it comes to comprehension. Because when we talk about comprehension, what a lot of students don't know is if you are someone who is into reading, who is into reading, so it will definitely aid you there because you have the habit of interpreting text, है ना? Because comprehension is all about आप किस तरीके से किस चीज को interpret कर रहे हो, right? So if I am reading like a comprehension or some kind of passage, as we say, so you need to identify the subject of the passage, right? So for example, if I am a writer, obviously I will write about something, na? So there should be a subject. Maybe I want to write about social media. Right, so there is something that I need to write about. Then I will add some idea to it. Ki matlab, if I want to maybe write about the positives of it, or maybe I want to write about the negatives of it. What is the main idea? Like, what is my passage or what is my writing going to revolve around? Right, when you actually read it. And when you are reading a sentence, so कई बार क्या होता है when you read a sentence, you see that the tone is maybe it's really it may be like a light tone or a happy tone as we say, or it's really dark. So you need to know all these things when you are reading a passage. आपको ये सब चीजें बहुत अच्छे से पता होना चाहिए. Basically, you have to read all these things intensively. आपको read करना रहेगा. ठीक है, एक मिनट. Right, guys, any doubt here? Anyone? No?
No,
Okay,
ma'am.
so what we need to know is identify the approach. So I would say to each their own, okay, because some people they like to read the whole passage first and then they want to come to the questions. It's up to you. And again, there are some people who like to read the questions first, like they want to maybe save their time more and then they come to the passage. But I would again say that, okay, skimming is completely fine. Even I believe in it that if you can save time, you should be going for saving time. Like you can just read the questions and then you can just find the information where you think that you can find it, right? But obviously skimming and scanning all the time is not going to help you क्योंकि कई बार आपको पूरा passage अच्छे से पढ़ना पड़ेगा to basically get the answer to that particular question. Right? Sometimes the questions are tricky. So I would say that you can maybe go for both the approaches, but if you are someone who has better comprehensive skills, so you can just read the questions and if it's an easy passage, so it's better that you save time and go for this approach. Again, it's to each their own. अगर आपको लगता है कि no, 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 I need to read the passage first and then I'll move on to the questions. So again, you can do that as well. It's up to you, right? But what matters at the end is you have to manage your time well, right? है ना? आप उसको अच्छे से manage करके चलो so that you can finish all the questions in time, right? उसके बाद दे हैव जस्ट एक्सप्लेन एंड यहाँ पे आप लोग देख सकते हो obviously some passages are easy but some passages can be a bit tricky so you need to read the passage, right? Sometimes they even ask you synonym या फिर किस चीज का antonym, right? And sometimes the context of that passage, जो भी meaning आपको पता है, sometimes the context is completely different from what you actually know, so you need to read the lines very very carefully, right? You need to understand the basic keywords, है ना? ये आपको पता होना जरूरी है. So you might have to do systematic intensive thinking जो basically आपको help करता है creativity को invent करने में. Basically where you think that you know I need to add something you will add, where you think you need to subtract something आप उसको subtract करोगे, जहां पे आपको लगता है कि इस information को मुझे multiply करना चाहिए तो आप उस हिसाब से करोगे, right? So basically you should have that picture in your head by the end you have read it. ठीक है? Skimming and scanning is completely fine, but again, if a question demands for you to have that comprehensive knowledge of the passage, तो वो भी आपके पास होना बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है, because there might be some question which would require you to go back to the passage again and read it all over again, because you were just skimming through it and आपने उसको अच्छे से डिटेल में नहीं पढ़ा. Right, so you just need to mark the important words or you think the importance line जो आपको उसके main idea के बारे में बताने की कोशिश कर रहा है. Right, then you can obviously choose your answer. Is this much clear, guys? Any doubt here? No? No, ma'am. Okay, let's move on to the next one then. So next would be again the similar approach है, लेकिन थोड़ा difference यहाँ पे ये आ जाएगा कि you will basically tackle the questions first. You read all the questions at first, है ना? I would say you read the choices also. It's better so that you can understand things better. ठीक है, and then you can maybe mark that you think can be important now. फिर उसके बाद आप skimming शुरू कर दो जल्दी जल्दी, because आपके पास इतना टाइम है नहीं कि आप इतना वेस्ट करोगे सब कुछ डिटेल में आपको पढ़ना ही पढ़ना है. बिकॉज समटाइम्स आई वुड से अगर आपको 5 क्वेश्चंस आ रहे उसमें 3 to 4 क्वेश्चंस तो ऐसे होते दैट इवन इफ लाइक यू नो यू स्किम थ्रू द पैसेज एंड यू आर गुड टू गो, लाइक यू डोंट नीड टू रीड एवरीथिंग इन डिटेल. हाँ, एक आधा क्वेश्चन कई बार ऐसा फंस जाता है जिसमें यू ऑब्वियसली नीड टू डू इट, बट अगेन पैसेज टू पैसेज वो भी वेरी करता है, कई बार यू हैव टू रीड थिंग्स इन डिटेल. ठीक है? सो आई वुड से अगर आपको लगता है कि पैसेज इजी है एंड यू स्किमिंग स्कैनिंग टेक्निक काम आ रही है तो प्लीज गो फॉर दैट, प्लीज सेव योर टाइम, राइट? So again, you have to mark the keywords, right, which we did in the previous technique also. And you can try to understand what is the tone of the author, है ना? And you can try to understand what is the idea. And basically, you read all the question, right? You read the first question and you go back to the passage. And usually, the जो पहला आपका question रहता है उसका जो what do you call जो passage होता है usually first ही रहता है वैसे. Usually, right? So you can just go for that and you can find the answer, right? And you can proceed वही same चीज को you can proceed it further. ठीक है, guys? उसके बाद if a question is asked on a phrase from the passage, read the lines. Because obviously, I know that you guys have done idioms and phrases, but it's not possible for you all कि आप सारे idioms और phrases एकदम आपको अच्छे से by heart learn हो, right? And sometimes they might give you some complex phrases that you might not understand, right? So it's better you try to understand if you have read the passage well. So sometimes आपको क्या हो जाता है, आपको समझ आ जाता है कि इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में ही जो आपका ऑथर है इज ट्राइंग टू कन्वे दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग, एंड यू ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड द ट्रांजिशनल वर्ड्स या फ्रेजेस ऑल्सो, जैसे हो गया सिमिलरली, मोर ओवर, एडिशनली, है ना, कंटिन्यूटी दिखाने के लिए, कॉन्ट्रास्ट दिखाने के लिए हाउएवर, ऑल्दो, कंक्लूजन दिखाने के लिए इन कंक्लूजन, हेंस, देयरफॉर। सो ऑल दीज वर्ड्स का जो अगर आपको आइडिया है, सो यू विल डू प्रिटी वेल एक्चुअली, बिकॉज आपको आइडिया रहेगा कि कहाँ पे क्या रिलेशन दिखाने की कोशिश की जा रही है, राइट, बिकॉज ट्रांजिशनल वर्ड ऑल्सो ट्राई टू शो यू द रिलेशन बिटवीन वेरियस फ्रेजेस और सेंटेंसेस एज वी से, ठीक है, and identify the positive and negative words as well to determine the tone again. If you think the author is using that particular word in a negative sense, तो आपको ये भी पता होना चाहिए, नेगेटिव है तो नेगेटिव भी पता होना चाहिए, ठीक है। And again, it's very, very important that if you think that if you need to eliminate some kind of information from that part to answer that particular question, you need to be very smart about it. Because अगर उस क्वेश्चन में एक पर्टिकुलर डिटेल पूछा गया और उसमें पैसेज में कोई एडिशनल पॉइंट लिखा हुआ है उसी के साथ, एंड इट इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड एज पर द क्वेश्चन, सो यू नीड टू नो, मतलब आपको पता होना चाहिए कहाँ पे एडिशन रिक्वायर्ड है, कहाँ पे सब्सट्रैक्शन रिक्वायर्ड है, तभी आप लोग इसमें अच्छा करेंगे। और काफी बार बच्चे क्या गलती करते हैं, दे ट्राई टू सी थिंग्स फ्रॉम देयर परसेप्शन, राइट, बिकॉज यू आर सीइंग व्हाट द ऑथर हैज रिटन, सो यू विल हैव टू आंसर इट एज द ऑथर ना, बिकॉज ऑथर अगर उस चीज में आप बिलीव नहीं करते बट ऑथर बिलीव करता है, तो आपको उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ना चाहिए, बिकॉज यू हैव टू आंसर इट फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू द ऑथर और हूसोएवर इज द राइटर बेसिकली, ठीक है। तो आपको उसी तरीके से क्या करना रहेगा, उसको आंसर करना रहेगा। अगेन सिनोनिम्स और एंटोनिम का भी बात सेम है गाइस, इट इज नॉट इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर यू टू नो एवरी सिनोनिम और एंटोनिम ऑन द फेस ऑफ दिस अर्थ टू आंसर द क्वेश्चन। what you need to know is you need to know how to read and comprehend things and then answer it, because most of the time you will understand it if you are reading it well, ठीक है, बट उसमें आपको थोड़ा फोकस करके पढ़ना रहेगा। Is this much clear? Any doubt? We are almost done with this now. No?
No,
Okay, then.
ma'am.
ठीक है. So read the passage in a comfortable speed. Again, it's up to you if you are someone who is a fast reader. कुछ लोगों को रिटेन करने में ज्यादा टाइम लगता है, कुछ लोगों को कम लगता है, तो इट्स ऑल अप टू यू कि आपको क्या करना है। इफ यू आर समवन जिसको स्किमिंग स्कैनिंग ज्यादा बेटर लगता है तो आप वो करो। इफ यू आर समवन हु लाइक्स टू रीड थिंग्स इन डिटेल फर्स्ट एंड देन अंडरस्टैंड सो दैट यू डोंट गेट कंफ्यूज, तो आप वो करो, ठीक है। व्हाट यू नीड टू डू इज यू नीड टू प्रैक्टिस अ लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चन, जिससे कि आपको अपना पता चले कि व्हाट इज द टेक्निक दैट वर्क्स बेस्ट फॉर मी, एंड देन यू कैन डेफिनेटली बिल्ड अ स्ट्रैटेजी फॉर योरसेल्फ, ठीक है। सो दैट वुड बी the departing words if I have to conclude this concept part. ठीक है? So if anyone has any question, they can ask or we will start off with the questions. ठीक? और एक last question guys, what we can do is, I guess you all would be wanting me to keep the passage वाला paragraph open for some time and then do the questions, right? If I'm not wrong, that's what we did the previous time.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
है ना?
That's the easiest way actually.
हाँ, because students get confused. Otherwise, yeah, we'll do that. I'll keep it open for 30 to 40 seconds. Then we will move on to the questions. We will, like, I'll not speak anything because it will disturb all of you. So then we will practice the questions. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So, yeah. So read the passage carefully and answer the question given below it. So this is what you're supposed to do. I'll just keep it open for like 40 seconds or something. You guys can start reading it. It's really easy. So, Is everyone ready now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, let's see the first question. Okay. Okay. According to the passage, who helps in our character building? A foreign university, a well-to-do man, examples that inspire, or a man who has earned honor? Yeah, guys. So basically, if I have to kind of brief for everyone who is watching us right now, you guys are absolutely right. So this passage actually talks about two things, right? Like when we talk about education, there are people who are well-to-do and they send off their children, right, to maybe abroad because they think that something good would come out of them just because they are sending them to expensive schools or universities. But on the other hand, we have these poor people, है ना, who have their own situation, who are struggling. But the home, the influence of the mother, the inspiring example that are held before the child at an age, while he is impressionable, are the true ground of character, right? Which basically is helping this child in building their own character, right? Because they have these examples, they have their parents are working very, very hard for them, है ना? So that they can do something. So examples that inspire would be the answer. Absolutely correct. Next पे चलते हैं. The proper background of early education is, okay, a school, a college, a religious institution, or the home. If anyone wishes me to go to paragraph, you feel free to let me know. I will move on. Okay, guess. Yes, absolutely right. We have already done this. It was given there and then that how when we talk about a person's background, like the proper background, basically बोलते ना that uh, yes. Our child's home is their first school, right? Where they basically start learning, right? So we can say home. Absolutely right. Out of these options. Correct. Great. From the passage, we get an impression that the highest honor is earned by कौन earn करता है? A man who has received education in a foreign country, a man who has struggled against adversity, a man who has seen prosperity alone, or the son of a prosperous man. See, as far as we have read the passage, we already know that author is not at all commending someone who has received their education in a foreign country or who is born with a silver spoon, है ना? तो ये तो नहीं हो सकते. So your answer has to be B out of these, है ना? Who has actually seen hardships and adversities in their life. Correct. A well-to-do man sends his son to foreign lands. Why? What is the reason? Because it is the fashion of the day, in the belief that his dull son will be transformed into a genius, so that the son may learn the customs of those countries, or in order to make his son familiar with the persons and places of those countries. Yeah, again, it's really easy. If a man is sending their child to a foreign country, okay, they are not doing it as per the author, they are not doing it because they want their son to become familiar with the person or places. Okay? They do not want them to learn the customs. They are not doing it because of the fashion. They just believe that, okay, my son has a very maybe dull mind, and the person will become a genius if they go to like these expensive schools and places. Okay? So, absolutely correct. Chali, last question from this one. The expression, the products of expensive schools and universities often fail to make good means what? They fail to make a mark in life. They fail to become intelligent. They fail to earn proper living, or they do not earn good reputation.
You don't own good reputation. You will be on properly.
Yes, guys. See, on one hand, the author believes that a person who has seen adversities and has seen such examples like their fathers and their mothers working really, really hard for them so that they can become successful, they leave a mark in life, right? Because they have seen their things at home itself, first-hand knowledge उनको मिला इस चीजों का. But a person who was born with a silver spoon, they somehow like they fail to make a mark in life. Okay, the products of expensive school and universities, as per the author, often fail to make good marks. So absolutely right. A would be the answer. Anyone has any doubt here? Okay, so you guys did really well here. So let's move on to the next one. Great. Chalo, I'll give 40 seconds again, right? So you guys can start. Ready, everyone? Shall I start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the questions are pretty easy actually for this one as well. The author says that wedding, birthday, and Christmas presents are always indicators of the giver's affection, may not always be given without any thought of affection, are given only to flatter the recipient, are given only to fulfill an obligation. What do you think the author thinks? Hmm. Yes. Yes, guys, basically, it is possible to give wedding presents, birthday, and Christmas presents without any thought of affection at all. Like, contrary to the belief, I guess it happens that sometimes we give presents to people without any thought of affection at all. It is absolutely possible. Okay, so absolutely correct. May not always be given without any thought of affection. Correct. They can be ordered by postcard means that the present may only be a postcard. The present would be an expensive one. The choice does not involve much care, or the present would not be worth giving. Hmm. Yeah. So basically, when we say the word postcard, postcard is basically like, usually it is understood be like a card, जैसा कोई चीज होता है, ठीक है? But what the writer is trying to say is that the choice of you sending a gift does not involve much care. Again, the same thing. It is not necessary for you to send a gift to someone to have that affection. Because usually people think is that अगर आप किसी को gift भेज रहे हो तो it involves a lot of affection. But we all know that we sometimes we send gifts to people maybe because they are getting married or maybe if it's their birthday. The reason can be anything and not every time it is out of affection. Right? Sometimes you just do it because you think it is necessary for you to do or whatever. Right? So absolutely correct. The unbirthday present is the best of all because It cannot be ordered by postcard. It means giving expensive presents. Its choice need the utmost care, or other occasions are better than birthdays for giving presents. Hmm. Just give me a second. Let's go to the question again. What is the question? The unbirthday present is the best of all because cannot be ordered. But obviously, A cannot be the answer. It means giving A as B cannot be the answer. Its choice needs the utmost care. None other occasions are better than birthdays. Yeah, see, basically what we need to know is if we try to understand it from the writer's perspective, what the writer is trying to say, because usually if somebody has their anniversary or if they have their birthday, what people do is because they, as a like people think, you know what, it's necessary for me to give gift to someone because their birthday or because it is their that or it is that. So sometimes what happens is we are not usually giving gifts to people out of affection or out of care. We are just doing it because we feel that it's necessary because it has become some kind of ritual that we have to follow. So that's why the writer feels that other occasions are better than birthdays for giving presents because that what actually shows your care. That you are not adding just a bolte na, you don't need a day to actually show your affection. Right? If you really care for someone, you can do it some other day also. So that's what the writer actually feels about these things. Right? That's why the writer keeps on emphasizing on the same thing. Okay, so we can say D would be the apt answer. Okay, that's why it's the best. A golden rule is a rule which brings profit, is very important, is very difficult, or is very easy. Anybody wants me to go to the passage, please let me know. This one is really easy though. भैया इसमें कोई प्रॉफिट नहीं आता है गोल्डन रूल में तो प्रॉफिट की बात ही नहीं करी है प्रॉफिट किधर से आ रहा है हम्म इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इजी भी कहाँ से बोला राइटर ने वेरी डिफिकल्ट इजी प्रॉफिट तो है ही नहीं इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इम्पेरेटिव भी वर्ड यूज किया गया है वहां पे ठीक है इम्पोर्टेंट इम्पेरेटिव मीन्स इम्पोर्टेंट ओनली लास्ट क्वेश्चन करते हैं द राइटर इज ऑफ द व्यू दैट वन शुड गिव अ प्रेजेंट दैट वन वुड लाइक टू possess oneself वन वुड लाइक टू get rid of can be ordered by mail or is highly expensive and attractive see the writer has clearly specified that he or she is not concerned with the gift being expensive, attractive, or being ordered by mail, or the obviously not one that would like to get rid of. Basically, one that you would like to possess. है ना जो आप खुद possess करना चाहते हो वही गिफ्ट आप क्या करो दूसरों को प्रेजेंट करो राइट सो दैट वुड बी द आंसर Clear, guys? Any doubt here before we move on to the next one now? No?
No, ma'am.
चलिए फिर next passage पे चलते हैं. This one is a little on the lengthier side, but it's really easy again. So you guys can read it. ठीक? Okay, is everyone ready? शुरू करें फिर.
Yes, ma'am.
Like there's one more passage. Do you guys wish to read this one as well? कि पहले start करना है question बता दो.
मैम इसको भी
Otherwise,
पढ़ लेते हैं.
हाँ चलो पढ़ लो फिर. चलो guys, let's start now. ठीक है, वैसे भी लास्ट वाले पैराग्राफ आपको पूरा पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है. Let's see, ठीक है. What qualities did the speaker inherit from his mother? Honesty and faith in goodness, honesty and deep kindness, emotion and self-discipline, faith in goodness and deep kindness. Okay, so basically when I read the paragraph, it has been mentioned I inherited honesty and self-discipline from my father because as we grow up, we actually inherit a lot of qualities from our parents because we see basically जो हमारे side basically पास में examples होते हैं proximity में our parents, right? So we learn a lot of things from them. So from mother, this child learned inherited faith in goodness and deep kindness. So did the brothers and sisters. Right, so D would be the answer. Faith in goodness and deep kindness. Very good. Next. Who were the speaker's close friends in his childhood? Okay. Jalaluddin Samsuddin, Siva Prakashan Arivandan, Lakshmana Shastri, Arivandan Ramanatha Shastri, Siva Prakashan, Jalaluddin Samsuddin, and Ramanatha Shastri. Okay, the writer has clearly mentioned in these lines ना यहाँ पे उन्होंने mention किया I had three close friends. बहुत easy है ये passage because सब कुछ आपके सामने ही आपको mention किया. Ramanatha, Aravindan and Siva Prakashan. Right. So when I look at the options, मेरे को ये C में मिल रहा है. ठीक है. तो साफ सीधा सा आंसर मेरा ये हो जाएगा. Absolutely correct. Next पे चलते हैं. What made the speaker's childhood unique? The teaching of his mother, the teaching of his father, the time spent with Jalaluddin and Samsuddin, and the company of his three close friends. Now the author has clearly mentioned again, उन्होंने अच्छे से बताया हुआ है कि किस चीज ने उनके childhood को unique बनाया था. Yeah, but it was the time I spent with Jalaluddin and Samsuddin that perhaps contributed most to the uniqueness of my childhood and made all the difference in my later life. Right? So उस हिसाब से हम लोग का आंसर हो जाएगा C. Absolutely right, guys. The time he spent with these two people, correct. Okay, what kind of environment is a child born into? An inherited and emotional environment, a specific socio-economic and emotional environment, an honest and self-disciplined environment, or a specific socio-economic and honest environment. Let's see. Every child is born with some inherited characteristics into a specific socio-economic and emotional environment. Specific socio-economic and emotional environment. So B होना चाहिए उस हिसाब से. So absolutely right, guys. Very good again. Last question from this passage. Who was the high priest of Rameshwaram temple? Okay. सो उनका एक फ्रेंड था जिनके फादर प्रीस्ट थे. इफ यू गाइज नो, इट इज गिवन इन द लास्ट पैराग्राफ इन केस यू गाइज डोंट रिमेम्बर. यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है, रामानंद शास्त्री वॉज द सन ऑफ पक्षी लक्ष्मणा शास्त्री, हाई प्रीस्ट ऑफ रामेश्वरम टेम्पल. है ना? सो लक्ष्मणा शास्त्री, इट्स रियली इजी. है ना? सो पूरा पढ़ने की स्किमिंग ही हो गया ये तो. ठीक है, सो एब्सोल्युटली राइट गाइस, आवर आंसर वुड बी वेरी गुड. Now let's quickly move on to the next one. Okay, this one right here. Should we move on to the next paragraph if everyone is ready? कि अभी भी आप यही पढ़ रहे हो?
Yes, ma'am. Next page.
Okay, done with this one. Okay. Okay, guys, is everyone ready? Let's start now with the first question we'll discuss. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
The privileged hand in this passage refers to whose hand? The spoon, expert hand, adults, or the children? Adult. It's better if we see the passage for this one. It was actually given. There is no honor in holding a fork in the right hand and in taking up on it little squares of meat that have been cut with a knife by some privileged hand. It is through long months and years a forbidden thing and all the more fascinating on the count. So it is basically talking about the child first. There is no glory in using a spoon. There is no honor in holding a fork in the right hand and in taking one little square of meat that have been cut with a knife. Okay, yeah, so basically we can see the writer is saying है ना? So the answer should be expert ना, because the writer is clearly saying that it is through a long month. So basically this baby, as we say, है ना, they usually cannot be given a knife. So the baby is longing for a knife, right? And they find no glory, they find no interest in holding a spoon or a fork, right? And it is actually more fascinating, and the person who is holding a knife is considered to have like that privileged hand, or as we say, तो expert hand बोल सकते हैं. ठीक है, यहाँ पे expert भी दिया होना चाहिए. हम्म,
मैम एक्सपर्ट ऐसे मेंशन तो नहीं है, बट लाइक सेंटेंस के थ्रू मतलब मीनिंग तो वही निकल रहा है, मोर प्रिविलेज्ड हैंड्स, मतलब तो वही हुआ जिसका ज्यादा
हाँ,
एक्सपीरियंस है.
out of these options, the answer obviously has to be. See, because the author, or I would say the writer, is trying to say that how a person who is using a knife is considered to be some who is actually a privileged person than a person who is just using, like from a baby's perspective, right? Because we ऐसा बोलते हैं ना कि the grass is always greener on the other side. So this passage is somewhat like that. Yeah. To the child, there is no glory in handling a spoon. Why? What is the reason for this child? The child does not find the spoon attractive. For the child, it is nothing but the extension of fingers. It is an extremely safe instrument, or it is not as exciting as fork. देखो, फोक और स्पून को तो एक ही कैटेगरी में डाला गया है, तो फोक वाला तो हटा ही दो. हम्म. यस. यहाँ पे ना, a little more than at least is so safe that it can be left in the hands of an infant in the cradle, but a knife is a danger against which constantly warning is necessary. ठीक है? So we can see that how from the child's perspective, it is just like another spoon, okay? Like when we talk about fork and spoon, like it's not a, what do you call, a spoon, it's like an extension of their own fingers, so they don't find it exciting. Right. At least is so safe that it can be left in the hands of an infant in the cradle, but a knife is dangerous. So उसको क्या है, basically if we talk about a child's perspective, ठीक है, it is an extremely safe instrument. So basically child के perspective से there's no excitement involved when we talk about these spoons or forks. ठीक है, जब हम इनकी बात करते हैं, but because there is some kind of mystery and danger involved when it comes to knife, so they find it more fascinating. ठीक है, सो उस हिसाब से सी हो जाएगा. इज दिस क्लियर? तो सी इज द आंसर. ठीक.
ओके मैम.
Adults cannot understand why a child find knives so attractive because they use knives routinely at a dining table, have forgotten their childhood experience, use the knife to cut tough vegetables, or wield power at the time of meals. See, when we talk about anything in our life, right? So if you want a car, है ना? So I wouldn't say that you start taking it for granted if you have it in your life, है ना? If you have, like, if you always long for a car and you ultimately get it, so you somehow start to become very used to it. Like you'll not value it so much as you used to before. Not like you're taking it for granted, but you'll be like, okay, मेरे पास है गाड़ी, तो अब क्या फर्क पड़ता है, right? So similarly, adults को ये चीज का नहीं पता चलता because it's a routine work for them. At the dining table, they can use it. तो उनको इतना नहीं फर्क पड़ता. ठीक. द चाइल्ड, longs to be a tool using animal, desires the freedom to use a perilous instrument, wants to use a knife because he wants to become a soldier, or dreams of crime and adventure. Yes, guys, it is very, very easy because this child wants to, desires the freedom because the child has been abstained from using this knife. So he wants to use this deadly, perilous instrument. He desires that, okay, why are these people not giving me the freedom to use this? है ना? So this should be the answer because soldier, ये इसका तो कोई they are not even mentioned. Last question. The knife fascinates a child all the more because it is out of his reach, a precious prize, a strong weapon to defend oneself with, and a very attractive toy. ये तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं है. It's really easy. No, it is because it is out of his reach. Nobody is letting him touch it. तो आपके जो reach के बाहर होता है, usually you become more, what do you call, you become more eager to have it in your life. If your mother says, you know what, you cannot touch that Almira, it has something inside it. So you will be more eager na, to have it. So similarly, psyche वैसा ही work करता है. So why? What is the reason? Why is it out of my reach? I want to have it. So you will definitely barge in and you will see what is it. Let me see the secret, right? So that would be it. Okay, guys. So last हम लोग passage करते हैं. This is gonna be a bit lengthy. ये रहा. But it's really easy. बहुत factual है. When done, let me know. Okay. Next पे चले guys. ये देखो.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, this is one. This is the one. चलो guys, let's start. Okay, it's really easy. ठीक है? So when you guys,
मैम
हाँ, questions करके देखते हैं. Scientists who study soil believe that all insects and bacteria are harmful. Only microscopic living things are useful. Only earthworms are useful. Not all worms and bacteria are harmful. I guess it has clearly been mentioned यहाँ पर, यहीं पर ही mentioned है. Soil scientists have shown that soil teems with millions, many of them these are harmful. But इधर पर ही तो था ना, फर्स्ट
मैम
पैराग्राफ
यही
क्या है?
पैराग्राफ है बट मतलब इस तरीके से समझा रखा है कि मतलब हम लोग क्वेश्चन आंसर इजी कर पा रहे हैं.
एक्चुअली क्लियरली मेंशन किया गया है कि not all worms and bacteria are harmful. Yeah, like though the writer has talked about that how certain things are harmful, but at the same time, not all worms and bacteria are harmful. That's what the writer basically said. ठीक. नेक्स्ट पे चलेंगे. द लिविंग थिंग्स दैट डू हार्म break down plants and animal, use up the nitrogen from there, cause diseases in the plants, or loosen up the soil from air and water. क्लियरली वहां पे डिजीज का मेंशन किया गया है एक्चुअली. सो दैट इज द आंसर. उसमें कुछ सोचना ही नहीं. एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. Next question. Farmers are always careful to control insects and fungi that attack plants, to encourage pests in the soil. Why would they encourage pests? To eliminate all bacteria from the soil, or to foster all kinds of worm in the earth. Very good. Absolutely right. They always and always put an effort to control insects and fungi that attack plants. Absolutely correct. Nowadays, it is possible to reduce the loss caused by pest and harmful bacteria with the use of chemical fertilizers, through the development of resistant seeds, by using weed as killers, or by controlling earthworms. To reduce the loss caused by pest and harmful bacteria, guys. It is actually chemical fertilizers. Mentioned भी था वहां पे. Not through the, वो तो किसी और चीज के लिए मेंशन किया है, सीड वाला.
मैम एक्चुअली दोनों ए एंड बी ही मेंशन था उसमें पैराग्राफ में.
No, 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 no. While the farmer can usually keep weeds in check by careful cultivation, this alone may not protect his crop from insects, pests, and blah blah diseases. Nowadays, however, he is much better able to control these enemies. So basically, the pest and all the, he may plant self-resistant type of seed. He may keep the pest and diseases in check with chemicals. He may plant special resistant type of seeds, or he may keep the pest and disease in check. With better seeds, farmers may have been able to increase their crop yields. क्वेश्चन क्या, एक बार दोबारा देखना पड़ेगा. क्वेश्चन एग्जैक्टली क्या है? तो दोनों हो सकता है. Nowadays, it is possible to reduce the loss. Reduce the loss caused by pest and harmful bacteria. But both can be the answer, ना फिर तो.
यस मैम.
चलो इसको इग्नोर करते हैं. The farmers today can also select seeds of slow ripening variety resistant to frost and drought for economy and cost of lower resistance to disease. ये तो काफी easy है. The farmers today can also select seeds. Resistant to frost and drought. Absolutely right. This is what we are looking for. ठीक है guys? So very good guys. You guys did absolutely amazing today. तो काफी अच्छा किया आप लोगों ने. आज के क्वेश्चंस खत्म हो गए. ठीक है। सो कॉम्प्रीहेंशन का एमसीक्यू पार्ट हम कल करने वाले हैं। इफ एनीवन हैज एनी क्वेश्चन राइट नाउ दे कैन आस्क और वी विल कंक्लूड द सेशन नाउ, ठीक है।
Ma'am, after this comprehension class, can we have PYQs? मतलब class related to PYQs.
Like you're talking about this topic itself or some
No, no, ma'am. All together as English. I mean, as English section as whole.
अच्छा ठीक है, हाँ वी कैन डू दैट बट आई haven't really prepared for it so I can start it from next class in Mangi, ठीक है।
Okay, ma'am.
हाँ so we'll start it. Okay ठीक है guys, so I will see all of you in the next class. तब तक के लिए जय हिंद to all of you and bye bye everyone.